The movie begins with a story telling us about how the powers of the heavens has been depressing for a long time. Because of this, the demons uses the opportunity to ambush the gods. Due to the fierce battle between them, many of them died in the process. But after some time, the power of the gods started to increase again. But in order to end the war and maintain peace, the gods and the demons finally decided to form an alliance with each other. Many years later, we see a guy who was on a flying boat called Jian, who was formerly a god. But due to he lost most of his powers, he suddenly decided to work as a bounty hunter so he can put food on his table. He also has a very close friend who shows up to tell him that their boat is already running out of gas, so they really need to find a next mission so they can use their pay to refill it. Suddenly, their telephone started to ring, only for them to find out that they have already been given another mission that tells them that they have to capture a man who illegally sells a kind of powerful potions, called the elixir. Yang Zhen friend is so excited to hear this because they are already even close to the location, which is a large city called Penglai. Unfortunately, the price given for the mission was somehow low, but Yang Zhen didn't give a damn and is ready to work as long as they keep getting money no matter how low the pay is. Suddenly, Yang Zhen takes out a flying craft inside their boat and transported himself to the Penglai city so he can wait for the criminal, who normally appears in the city to illegally sell those portions. After keeping watch for a long time, the man suddenly shows up with a demon henchman and questions Yang Zhen if he wants the special portion. But Yang Zhen shows no interest in this and then brings out a letter he received for his capture and calmly tells the criminal to surrender. Realizing he cannot make a deal with Yang Zhen, he summons his demon henchman to take his life, but unknowingly, Yang Zhen hasn't lost all his godly powers yet, as he uses a special magical technique and ended the demon's life so easily. Immediately, the man tries to flee by using his flying ship, and uses it to chase after the man. When he gets closer to the man and was almost about to capture him, he runs out of gas, but luckily his friend appears from nowhere and captures the criminal. Yang Zhen is so shocked, wondering how he knew where the criminal was, and his friend explains that his dog, who has the ability to shapeshift into a human form, was the one who helped in capturing the man, desperately. The captured criminal offers to give Yang Zhen times 3 of the pay he was given for his mission, but Yang Zhen rejected the offer, because he is a very honest man. After few hours, the criminal was later locked up in the Heavens prison. Few moments later, Yang Zhen friend tells him that a mysterious woman really wants to meet up with him, and as Yang Zhen goes to her location, he sees a nice-looking girl who introduces her name as Wan Lu and begs him for assistance to retrieve her sister's treasure that was being taken away by bandits, and she is really ready to give him a lot of valuable items she has in her possession. Yang Zhen really wants to know what exactly the treasure is. The girl wasn't specific in the answers. But when she noticed that Yang Zhen is already losing interest, she reveals to him that the treasure is owned by her sister, who has been nowhere to be found for so many years. She specifically tells him that the treasure is called Lamp of Universe Contentment, which was taken away by a powerful warrior known as Chen Xiang. Before she leaves, she appeals to Yang Zhen that if he ever sees Chen Xiang, he should find her, as she stays in a city called Yinzhu. Immediately, she goes away using her golden boat. Yang Zhen friends who knows about this goes to him, to know why a very wealthy woman like her will give them a mission because they are not professional bounty hunters. Meanwhile, we see the thief of the woman's treasure, called Chen Xiang, who went with his henchmen to company where gas has been produced, as it is revealed that they came there to rob the entire area. When theft started, Chen Xiang goes to a secret place in the building, where the gas was being manufactured out of a precious liquid portion. He takes the life of a gigantic monster that was manufacturing the gas. Eventually, the gods appears in the scene and started to murder every of the thieves. Strategically, Chen Xiang releases a whole lot of monsters to cause a distraction on the gods, and quickly makes his escape. Meanwhile, Yang Zhen goes to the Penglai city teleportation machine, which the citizens normally use to teleport themselves from one location to the other, without having to stress themselves in a really long journey. Yang Zhen makes use of it, and takes himself to a place called the Square Port, and goes to a casino to meet a person who always gives him informations, because he wants to know about the location of Chen Xiang. When his informant hears that name, he instantly gets so afraid because so many people already appear to look for that same man, and shows Yang Zhen the mysterious persons that are also on the search for Chen Xiang. It turns out that those people were demons in monkey form who seems to know Yang Zhen. We find out that when Yang Zhen used to be a god with extreme powers, he once captured those 2 guys because they were criminals. For a revenge for what he did, those demons started to mock him that. Yang Jian used to be an heavenly warrior, but as soon as his third eye was removed, he became weak and is now a bounty hunter, but Yang Jian tries to ignore those annoying words. Suddenly, those two guys takes it too far as they started to make fun of him in front of the crowd, who got interested in his story and wanted to know why or how he lost his powers. Those two guys then tells a story when Yang Jian was a very supreme heavenly warrior. Yang Jian's sister fell in love with a human being, which was not in line with the laws in heaven. With not much choice, Yang Jian uses his powers to attack his sister, who also used a divine weapon in the heavens to pull out his third eyes. After the story, two huge guys suddenly enters the casino, which scares those two demon monkeys away. These guys were called the Mo brothers, who were also heavenly warriors and now captures people for money. Mo brothers already knew that Yang Jian was already on the search for Chen Xiang and tells him to stay out of their way, since they were also given the mission to also capture Chen Xiang. But Yang Jian pretends like he didn't hear a word from them and goes outside the casino only to finally find the Chen Xiang, who is already surrounded by his gang members because he stole a powerful portion from the gas station without their notice. Chen Xiang is really so shocked on how they found out, until those two same monkeys appears again, and says to him that they were also at the gas station during the robbery and they saw him stealing the portion and has already reported it to the gang leader. Suddenly, Yang Jian, who pretends to be a normal passenger, was passing the area, only for Chen Xiang to throw the portion to him, making the goons to think Yang Jian and Chen Xiang are working together and started to attack them both. Yang Jian and Chen Xiang goes on a really intensive battle with the gang members, and when Chen Xiang gets the opportunity, he kills his gang boss, and also succeeded in defeating the rest of the gang members, but those two monkeys were able to make their escape. Yang Jian tells Chen Xiang that taking his boss' life wasn't necessary, but he replies that if he didn't kill his boss, he would have also killed him. Then he calmly requested for the portion back from Yang Jian, who returns it back to him. Yang Jian tells Chen Xiang that he was given a mission to capture him. The moment Yang Jian gets distracted, Chen Xiang quickly uses the chance to make his escape. The Mo brothers suddenly appears, and when they see the dead bodies around, they knew that Chen Xiang has been there. But when they questions Yang Jian about this, he denies his whereabouts. Few moments later, Yang Jian goes to the mountains where the heavenly school has been held to meet with his master. Here we find out Yang Jian didn't only trap his sister beneath the earth, but also seals a powerful energy along with her, as we find out that if that energy comes back to the world, it will not only cause chaos, but it will as well make the heavens' powers limited and also destroy the peace between demons and humans. Yang Jian questioned his master about Chen Xiang, and we get to find out that Chen Xiang was also a student in this school. And the most surprising of all is that he is also related to Yang Jian, who was brought to the school about 10 years ago when he was still little and innocent. The master laments in pain because Chen Xiang later became a murderer and killed his teacher in the school. Immediately, the school staff escorted Yang Jian to the corpse of that teacher, only for us to find an unusual injury in the teacher's corpse. The school staff also tells Yang Jian that Chen Xiang was also in a collaboration with a god known as Gung Bao, but because of his evil actions, he was thrown out of the heavens. Chen Xiang also stole the lamb of universal contentment that was owned by the teacher, which surprises Yang Jian, because the beautiful woman, Wan Lu, who gave him a mission, also claimed that the lamb of universal contentment belongs to her sister. On the other hand, we see Chen Xiang once again, who pays a visit to Gung Bao and handed over the portion to him. Gung Bao plans to also find a cover so he can use it to complete the lotus treasure. Suddenly, Chen Xiang tells Gung Bao that he accidentally met a man during his heist called Yang Jian. When Gung Bao hears this name, he takes Chen Xiang to the rooftop in his residence, where we see his large tiger sleeping there, and reveals to him that Yang Jian is no other person than his uncle, who imprisoned his mother beneath the earth, making Chen Xiang really furious, and promising himself to find the remaining parts of the lotus treasure so he can free his mother. Meanwhile, Yang Jian goes to the town known as Yingzhou so he can meet the woman Wanlu, who asked him to retrieve the lamb of universal contentment. He finally finds Wanlu, who turns out to be a really great performer. After her dance, Yang Jian meets with her because he wants to know why she really lied concerning the lamb of universal contentment belonging to her sister. Suddenly, Wanlu uses her mirror and transported Yang Jian to an imaginary world where he meets with his mother, who tells him to unseal the mountain where he trapped his sister. But as soon as he returns back to consciousness, Wanlu was nowhere to be found, but she left a write-up telling him the place where he can find Chen Xiang. Immediately, Yang Jian enters his flyboat and transports himself to the location using the teleportation machine. On the other hand, we see Chen Xiang on a destroyed boat, as he is searching for the cover to the lotus treasure. When Yang Jian also arrived at that place, he sees the maps all around the walls and realizes that Chen Xiang is searching for a valuable item known as the lamb cover. Suddenly, he meets Chen Xiang and questions him on why he murdered his teacher in the heavenly school, only for Chen Xiang to reply that he was badly maltreated by the teacher and he hated Yang Jian because he never showed up to help. During their conversation, the Mo brothers suddenly appears so that they can capture Chen Xiang, but this around Yang Jian decided to assist him in making his escape. Suddenly, he sees a paper that gave him a clue concerning Chen Xiang, who is planning on going to a mysterious lighthouse to fetch the lamp cover. In the process, the Mo brothers ambushes him, using their magical guitar and umbrella, but it was really so hard for them to defeat him, because his skills were so extraordinary. And although he has lost almost all his godly powers, he was able to take down the men all by himself. At the point when the Mo brothers weren't able to handle the situation, one more member of the Mo brothers suddenly appears and strikes Yang Jian with a really huge monster that succeeded in capturing Yang Jian. The Mo brothers are really furious, because they told him not to interfere in their business. What annoys them the most was that he was the one who gave Chen Xiang the chance to escape. Suddenly they imprisoned him in the heavens, so he won't interfere in their business in capturing Chen Xiang anymore. Yang Jian also sees the criminal he captured from the beginning for illegally selling portions. Few moments later, Yang Jian friends appears to break him out of the prison. He successfully escapes by using his powers, which made him to get access to the keys, and finally making his escape, and also allows the portion smuggler to join their crew. Unexpectedly, a gigantic dragon comes from nowhere and attacks their ship, but Yang Jian Dog, who can transform into different form, helps in defending against the dragon. On the other hand, we see Chen Xiang and Gong Bao, who arrived at the lighthouse, so they can retrieve the cover lamp. There we see another member of the Mo brothers, who has been expecting their arrival and has been patiently waiting for them, because he really wants to prevent them from stealing the lamp cover. Gong Bao ambushes him from behind, but the Mo clan brother sends him flinging in the air with not much effort. Furiously, Gong Bao charges towards him along with his huge tiger, but the Mo brother unleashes a gigantic essence out of his body to battle with him. Seeing this, Gong Bao also unleashes his own essence, making the fight between these warriors much fiercer. Seeing how Gong Bao was overpowered in the fight, Chen Xiang also unleashes his own spirit body and strikes the Mo brother really hard with a knife. Although the Mo brother stopped his attacks, this gives Gong Bao the chances to finally land a very brutal blow on him, which killed him instantly. Immediately, they took possession of the lamb cover they were looking for. But just as we see in every treasure caves, there will always be an obstacle or a trap that will try and stop you from getting to those treasures, as see numerous swords attacking them from the rooftop. Gong Bao and Chen Xiang couldn't escape the trap, but Chen Xiang was quickly brings out a strand of his mother's hair from his bracelet. As he places it on the lamp cover, it suddenly unleashes a very powerful energy, which was able to stop the swords from hurting them. But the problem was only getting started, as we see the swords combining itself, which only extended it to a bigger size, and continues in attacking them. Gong Bao decided to hold off the sword and tells Chen Xiang to make his escape. Immediately, the Mo brothers appears with the person who was actually in control of the swords and started to torture Gong Bao, which causes his injuries to be more severe. But Gong Bao Tiger shows up and quickly passes over all his powers to Gong Bao to heal him from his injuries. But a strange person suddenly appears and killed them all. On the other hand, Yang Jian also arrives at the location of the lighthouse to look for Chen Xiang, only finds Gong Bao, who is already half dead on the ground, and as he tries to get answers concerning Chen Xiang location, he died. A very special stone was given Yang Jian by his friend, which transported him to a deserted land known as the Jian dynasty. He sees something shining in a mysterious house, and as he tracks it down, he finds out that this is the house of Wanlu. Suddenly, Chen Jiang comes to that house with the lamb cover he stole and gives it to Wanlu, who uses it to complete the parts of the lotus lamb, which suddenly brings out a form of a phoenix bird. Yang Jian, who sees this, suddenly comes out from his hiding spot and goes to tell Chen Xiang the real truth about his mother. Yang Jian tells the story of a powerful phoenix that stays in a place called Mount Hua. That phoenix wanted to go out of the mountains, and with its full flames which could have destroyed both the heavens and the earth. But Chen Xiang's mother, who was also Yang Jian's sister, tries to prevent the phoenix from living the mountains, but it was too powerful for her to subdue, and even destroyed the lotus treasure that was keeping it captive. At that moment, Chen Xiang's mother has no choice and begs her brother, Yang Jian, to trap her in the mountains where the phoenix stays, so she can keep preventing the phoenix from escaping. Yang Jian later finds out that his sister has a child, which turns out to be Chen Xiang, and handed the baby over to the master in the school to watch and take good care of him. After hearing this story, Chen Xiang is really so surprised because he always thought that Yang Jian trapped Chen Xiang's mother because she fell in love with a human. But Chen Xiang is still furious on why Yang Jian never checked on him. But Yang Jian responded that he was told by his master to only meet him when he is all grown up. Wan Lu accompanies Yang Jian and Chen Xiang to a hill and shows them the mountains, which is in a far distance, where Chen Xiang's mother and the phoenix were trapped, and explains to them that the phoenix doesn't depress the heavens' powers, that his master only lied to him because Yang Jian master was only keeping the phoenix there so he can expand his own powers. But Yang Jian couldn't believe her words, and wanted to take Chen Xiang along with him to confirm the truth himself from his master. Wan Lu tries to prevent them from going, but Yang Jian was able to counter her attacks using his powers. He believes that Wan Lu was only trying to deceive him, and suddenly takes Chen Xiang on a journey to the mountains where his mother was sealed with the phoenix. But when they arrived, they surprisingly see Wan Lu, who was captured. The Mo brothers ambushes Yang Jian and Chen Xiang, and what shocks him the most was that he realizes that Wan Lu has been saying the truth all these while when he sees his master leading the Mo brothers. His master selfishly wants to use the phoenix energy to expand his powers, which can cause so many lives to be lost. Yang Jian unconsciously brings back all his powers and activates his spirit energy to fight his master and the Mo clan, who also brings out their spirit energy and suddenly overpowered him. But Yang Jian doesn't give up in the fight, and fortunately for him, he uses a very powerful godly technique, making him to defeat them all at one blow. Yang Jian opens the seals in the mountains, and Chen Xiang reunited with his mother who had died a long time ago, and is now a spirit. She begs Yang Jian to take good care of her son, and that was how the movie ended. Thank you for watching, guys. If you don't want to miss out in the next video, please subscribe to this channel and keep watching. Bye.